team that didn't lose last week, didn't play. Kentucky soars into a game against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt comes to Kroger Field, and who would have thought college football's team of the week after upsetting Alabama would be the big story coming to Lexington? They threw the goalpost in the Cumberland River, and then I think the fire department went and got it out. Does that upset win bode well or ill for the Wildcats coming off a bye week?
I think it's pretty good. I mean, you just can't figure that Vanderbilt's going to back up that Alabama performance with anything approaching what it did against the Crimson Tide. The game also gets Kentucky's attention. Kentucky's been sitting there for 2 weeks getting ready for this team. They're coming off of a big win over Ole Miss, so they went into that week off feeling like, hey, we can accomplish something in the SEC. Look at all the turmoil, and there's only more turmoil that's happened since then. So I think all of the signs are ripe for Kentucky to have a good week against Vanderbilt and win a game that gets them up in the rankings. They are still way down in the vote getting, the AP top 25. Too far down.
Because the way they lost to South Carolina, because it was such a big loss. I agree with you. It's got to be hard for Vandy. Everybody on campus is probably still partying. That's a team they've beaten, once in 40 years. It's a once-in-a-lifetime situation. Everybody was celebrating. Parents were tracking their daughters and what they were doing that night.
Chris Mack was tracking his daughter. That's one parent we know of,
But I'll say this. It wasn't a fluke. Vanderbilt deserved to win the game. And the week before, Vanderbilt took Missouri to the wire, right? Yeah. And they also beat Virginia Tech early in the year. So this is an improved Vandy team. Kentucky should win, but it's not a layover.
No, you're right. Vandy is legitimate. They've got a real quarterback. Coach has done an outstanding job. And, you don't really beat Alabama in a fluke game if you're Vanderbilt. I mean, Alabama has to help. And I'd like to hear what's going on the Paul Feinbaum show right now, because it's probably not very pretty. The big thing they're mad about is that Kalen DeBoer wore a T-shirt during the game, and Alabama fans say, our program is not a T-shirt program from the coach. Yeah, you lose, everything gets criticized. But it will be interesting. Kentucky has had that week off. Did they make the most of it? Do they come out playing as well as they did against Ole Miss? So if they do and get back on that roll, they can get some work done in the SEC in these next few games.
Because the following game they go to Florida, which has actually gotten better, won a couple in a row now. And then the game after that is back at home, I believe, against Auburn, which has struggled this year. Yeah. So this is their chance to kind of get on a roll before they have Tennessee after that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So
all right.
In times ahead, perhaps.